Hi, I'm Charlotta.
And I'm Vicky.
And welcome to the School of Pattern Cutting.
So today we're going to talk about the shawl collar, or as it's sometimes known as the grown-on collar.
And that's a really lovely collar because it works completely different to a lot of other collars because it's part of a garment. But it has so much different design principles you can apply to it. So it's great to work with.
I think with the shawl collar it looks quite complex when you draft it, but once you've mastered it, it's a real addition to your repertoire of drafting.
Yeah, and it's one of those evergreen collars. It never goes away through the different decades. It's always reinterpreted.
So you can always see lots of versions of it if you look for it, if you're looking online or you're looking at designing your own types of collars.
So we're going to first of all walk you through all the design principles on the stand, and then we're going to show you how to draft it. This is the shawl collar. It's either called a shawl collar because it looks like you're wearing a shawl. The other name for it is called a grown-on collar. And the reason for that is that it grows out of the front. So it's all one piece. And then it goes around the back and it's just attached to the back. Yeah?
So it is quite complex, but once you've got the hang of drafting it, they're really easy. You can do all sorts of different design things with it.
Yeah, it's one of these collars when you first start drawing it or making it, it blows your mind, but then it's...
The only thing we haven't said is like when you're around the back again, there's a seam in the centre of the collar, so it's not, can you see there? There's a seam,
And also...
So it grows onto the front and you join it at the centre back.
So when it comes to designs, there's lots of ways of putting your own designs on.
So you could look at you could have a very narrow front, or this could be much wider and flatter.
So if you think narrow, if you think about men's tuxedos, they sometimes use it.
And also what's interesting, we've got our break point here. You could have this point at the waist, up here, down on the floor. It's up to you entirely where you put that. It just depends how you draft it.
So if you go quite high up, it becomes quite 1930s evening coat for women.
So you could sort of have, you could almost have that sort of look if that's the idea you're after.
You have your front double-breasted. So that looks quite a nice look.
What I have seen quite nice is where this is one fabric and this is your interfacing, this facing is another fabric. So that's, you can have a think about those sort of ideas. So
this shape could be, at the moment, this is quite a smooth line, but it could be quite abrupt. So it could be quite a strong curve. It could be lots of shapes. It could be square.
So there's lots and lots of variety in this collar. So I think what we'll show you to do is how to draft this version of it. And then it's up to you and your design principles about how you want to change it. I'd probably just have a go at a couple of different things to see how it works. Yeah, you can change the height at the back, can't you? So there's all sorts of different things going on. So I think it's a really exciting collar when you get going with it.
So just a few quick points on how to adapt it for fitting. So if you want to fit it closer to the neck, you can take stuff out here, but also, for example, you could put a dart in here. There's some beautiful examples of how by darting it you get a really nice tight fit. So next up we're going to show you how to draft it and what design principles you can apply to the drafting process. The first thing we've done with the shawl collar is we're working at 90 degrees turn, just so you can see all the detail happening at the neck. But if you draft it to yourself, you might want to turn it round so it's the same as if you're wearing it. The first thing you need to do is draw around your whole front bodice. And if you're wanting to put a sleeve, put your notch in, and also put your dart notch on if you're doing one with a dart. Because this is going to become your final pattern piece because the collar grows out of your front. So first thing you do, if you mark your center front, as usual, and that's also your straight of grain. So straight away you've just done good marking. Next thing you're going to do is draw in your button stand. So the width could be anything from 2 centimeters to double-breasted. We're going to go with 3 centimeters. So that's a 3 centimeter parallel line. And then mark at the bottom, extend it across. Next thing you're going to do is decide on the point you're going to break the collar, which is when it starts turning over. So we're going to go halfway down your center front, but it's really up to your design. You're going to mark it. Then you're going to draw a line from your break point all the way to your high shoulder point. And that's your break line. So this is the line your collar is going to fold. The next thing you need to do is extend your collar into the back. So you're going to draw in your back neckline, which is 7.5, and which just extends from the front. So mark your 7.5 line. Perfect. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put in some shaping, because the moment the line is straight and you're putting it into a round back neck. So you're going to extend it by just 1 centimeter into the shoulder. Okay, and mark it. And this way you have to be careful, because sometimes people get confused and they go the other way. So make sure you go towards the shoulder point. Then you're going to connect this point to a shoulder point with a slightly curved line. Okay. So this is now your fold line extending into your neckline. This is your center back point. So we're going to start at 90 degrees to your curved line and draw in the height of your collar. So I know it's quite tricky starting with a curved line, but you just find the bit where it's at 90 degrees to that curve and then draw in the height of your collar, which is going to be 9 centimeter. Good. And then the last thing you need to do is draw in the shape of your collar. So you always need to start at a right angle in your center back, because that's going to be a seam. And then you could either do a really smooth line, it could go out. It's up to you in your design. Yeah, make sure it's definitely right angles there, because otherwise you're going to get a kink. So if your curve is bigger, you might just extend the height a little bit, so you get a nice smooth line to begin with. Okay, and that's important with flat cutting, is not to be ruled by the pattern, but you can adapt the pattern how you want it to be. This is now your front bodice with the shawl collar attached. What you do next is you add seam allowance everywhere. So you start your shoulder. I wouldn't bother with the armhole or the side seam, because we're just going to make a 12 first. Yeah, so straight lines first and then just the curves in the end. So this is your collar piece, and if you want to, you could now make your first trowel just to decide the shape. But I'm also going to quickly show you how to put the facing in, because you need that to make your proper trowel. So you're going to go about 5 centimeters from your high shoulder point on your shoulder and mark it. And also mark 5 centimeters from your center front. And then you start with a parallel line which then curves to become parallel again. Yes, a straight all the way a bit further on even. And then also straight here. And then you curve that out. So, and then what you do is same as with the 2-piece collar, you put another piece of paper on top and you trace around your collar bit and your facing bit. And that will give you your finished collar ready to do your first sample.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.